You're very welcome.
Dan, I know how much you love these bios. So you got to bear with me here. Dan began his automotive career when he was 14, and he bought, repaired, and sold a 1959 Cadillac convertible. He gave up his lawn care company to work at a gas station when he turned 16, just to be around cars. He worked as a technician and a service advisor during his college years and bought his first gas station at age 22. For the next 20 years, Dan was challenged as an independent auto repair shop owner. He realized that he needed to learn as much as he could and attended seminars, business schools, workshops, and anything else that would help make his business a success. That's when the passion for the automotive industry developed. Dan became a member of a Bottom Line Impact Group and took his company to a new level. In 2003, Dan joined the RLO team as a full-time instructor and coach. His zeal to transform the automotive industry is apparent in his enthusiasm for helping others improve all aspects of their businesses. He continues now as president of RLO Training to take the automotive industry forward into a successful future. Thanks for being here today for us.
Thank you. I trust that all of you have, and I know that many of you have had some extra time during this last few months, and that you've used it well. And so one of the things that I have done is I actually have been suffering from Zoom fatigue because I've been on too many Zoom meetings. But some of them have been very good, and you know, if you just pick up one thing, then it's probably worthwhile. And I have I'm going to share with you a couple of things that I've picked up over the last few months. The big thing is change, and I've I am reluctant to change like many people. I like things the way they are. However, I mean, the one thing that's very certain about our industry is that things will change. I will date myself a little bit. I was still in high school when the electronic ignition systems came out for General Motors way back in the 70s, and we thought, wow, this is it, man. This technology is really something. And of course, in the last 40 years, 50 years, 40 plus years, things have changed a great deal more than that. And so while we in the automotive industry often embrace change in the technical realm, we haven't necessarily embraced it on the business side of things. And so I just want to throw out some thoughts for you today, give you some different ideas, and again, hopefully share some different, shake things up a little bit, I guess is what I'd say. So choosing to change, and the first thing I'd like to suggest is that there's probably two really good reasons to change the way you do business. The first one would be that you have adjusted your goals, or you have redefined your goals, and so you want to change the way you do business to achieve that goal. One of the things we hear a lot of is, I want to grow my business. And I say, great. Why? Why do you want to grow your business? Now, there is no wrong answer. I might challenge somebody. I met a guy in Texas many years ago who had like a 40-some bay shop, and he wanted to grow his business just because it was an ego thing. He wanted to have the biggest shop. He kept adding bays, and there was no real reason for it. He wasn't efficient. He wasn't effective. He wasn't even that profitable. He just wanted a big business. So I would kind of challenge that. But I want to say, well, what do you want the business to do for you? What is the purpose of the business? I run into this sometimes where I say, you know, what do you want to do with your business? And they say, well, I need to grow the business because I want more time with my family. Okay. Is growing the business going to give you more time with the family? I want to know how that's going to work, because I can tell you that there's a lot of shops that I just say, why don't you just close up on Saturdays and spend Saturdays with your family? Because Saturdays are for many shops, they're a throwaway day. Now, I understand that for many shops, they're a very good day, but you know, let's if your goal is to spend time with your family, then do we need to grow the business to get more time with the family, or do we need to be more efficient in how we run the business to get more time with the family? We say, well, I need more money. Okay, well, great. Why do you need more money? What are you going to do with it? Because again, if it's an ego thing, I just need to make more money because I want to make more money. Maybe we should really revisit the goals. So choosing to change, let's change for the right reasons, and let's make sure that we have a very specific goal or end result in mind. So then I just a couple of things. I'll skip past this. You know who I am, so I don't need to. Sorry, the slide only loads slowly. There we go. Move on to this. Mark Twain, what gets us into trouble is not what we don't know. It's what we know for sure that just ain't so. So the reason I want you to think about this is because there's things that we believe are just a truth in our industry that just ain't so. I was challenged, and again, it's kind of fun because I've met some people that have come into our industry that are not from our industry. You know, there's actually people who have bought repair shops that have no automotive background, and while that might sound almost sacrilegious to some of us, it's kind of interesting. And you know, people say, well, why do we charge by the hour? Well, we've always done it that way. Well, that's the way it's got to be done. You know, for an industry that embraces new technology and change, you realize that charging by the hour and flat rates were developed in like 1920. So 100 years ago, and we haven't progressed in 100 years. Again, I'm not saying that that we need to throw that away right now. I just want you to think about what do we hold on to sometimes that might get us into trouble. And where this really struck me, and again, I told you that I was having some Zoom fatigue, but my CPA has been doing a great job with doing weekly webinars and throwing out some ideas. And one of the things that he challenged business owners on, and this is what I want to challenge all of you on, is if you once a quarter, just every quarter, sit back and look at your business and say, would I buy this? If this business was for sale right now, would I buy it? And if the answer is yes, that's great. And maybe you can think of some things as an investor that you might tweak a little bit to make it a little bit more attractive. But what if you wouldn't buy it? Then what do you need to change to make it attractive? And again, this struck me, just a short story. My wife and I have some rental properties, and one of them is in Kirkland. Now, those of you that are on around the Seattle area understand that real estate prices have gone stupid crazy. And when he challenged me on this, he says, look at all of your investments and ask yourself, would I buy it again? Well, we bought this house 20 years ago for $120,000. It's been paid for 10 years. It gets $2,500 a month rent. And you say, wow, that's a great thing. The problem is the house is worth $650,000 now. Would you buy a $650,000 house that only got you $2,500 a month in rent? No, you wouldn't. That'd be a terrible investment. So look at all of your investments, but especially look at your business and say, would I buy it again? And if you look at your business and say, I wouldn't buy this right now, well, what do you need to change to make it attractive to buy it? And typically it's people or processes. So if you wouldn't buy it because you know that that one particular person you have working for you is such a difficult person, well, then you already know the answer to the problem. So again, what gets us into trouble is not what we don't know, it's what we know for sure that just ain't so. And so let's challenge some of the things that we are sure are so. And of course, if you've taken many RLO training classes, this was Bob O'Connor's favorite quote: insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And so again, if you're not happy with your results, you'll need to make some changes. I saw that a quote. My mind just went blank. I want to attribute it to the right person, Maxwell. Maxwell had a quote the other day and he said that significant results come from minor changes in your daily habits. So again, if you're not happy with the results you're currently getting, what minor changes in your daily habits are you going to make to get a different result? When I was looking at this quote, and one of the things that struck me, many of you probably have children or children that are grown, and I'm curious, were you very careful when your children were young as to who they got to spend time with or who they were allowed to play with? And so if that was important because you were concerned about influences on your children, let me ask you, are you as careful with who you associate with? Are you hanging around with the wrong people? Just a thought. The most dangerous phrase in the language is, we've always done it this way. Now, it's interesting because there's going to be next week's webinar, which I would encourage you all to attend, is Leon's going to talk about SOPs. And sometimes SOPs are needed in order to stop doing it the way we've always done it, because the way we've always done it isn't working really well. I just want to give you encouragement to listen to him talk about SOPs. SOPs are a wonderful thing. And we can always look at our SOPs and say, do we need to change this? Could we improve this? Is there a better way of doing it? Because again, we've always done it this way is not necessarily mean it's the best way. So again, the framework here is, where do we want our business to be, or where do we want the business to do for us? And then what changes need to be made so that we can get there? And that's what I want you to be thinking about. And I encourage you that we need, I mentioned the shop owners that are coming in from outside our industry. Listen to some people outside your sphere. When I had the shop, my wife was a high school English teacher. She had no automotive background, and yet that outside view looking in, she always brought in insights that go, what? No, you can't do that because it's automotive. But then when you think about it, she, oh yeah, she's right. There's a different way that we can do things. There's a better way that we can do things. So be open to outside. And I say this two ways: be open to outside input, and at the same time, we're going to be cautious about where we get our input, because we have to be, we have to use the same kind of protections on our own ears as we used to do with protecting our kids. So again, we've always done it this way. It's not necessarily the right way. And so again, I want you to think about where are we going to go, and what do we need to change to get there? And again, it's not growing your business. Now, I have the fun little example I want to show you here, which has got, I just said, you know, changing or growing your business to be growing your business is not necessarily a good thing, but this is just some math that I want you to think about. Would anybody like to double their business in 2 years? And Jennifer, it's okay for you to say yes too, because the numbers work the same for you as it does for everybody else, right?
Okay.
So here's what most businesses, they call them different things, but this is what businesses have. We have customers. We have a number of customers. We have an average transaction. In our case, it's average repair order. And we have a number of transactions annually. And then we have retention rate. And in order to double your business in 2 years, you need a 38% increase each year, and your business will double in sales. Actually, more than double. It's just math. Now, here's the fun part. Most people think, okay, I need to double my customers. Market, 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 get more customers. But that's not how it works. The 38% is that if we add the percentage increase of each one of these things up, it has to equal 38. So I'm going to suggest that probably for most of you, increasing the number of customers is probably the hardest and most expensive thing to do. So let's leave that alone. Let's just leave the customers the same, and let's look at maybe average repair order. Now, other than Leon with his, well, even Leon would probably admit that he's even got room for improvement, even though he has a huge average repair order. Is that possible, Leon? He's muted. So
I have lots of room for improvement. I'm not the model. I'm just somebody that's still working at it.
Okay. So what would be a fair number of average repair order increase in percentage? You think you could go 10%? Is that a fair number?
Yes.
Okay, so if we increase the average repair order by 10%, how about visits, number of visits? Now, most shops average just over 1 visit per year on their customers. What if we went from 1.1, a 20% increase, to 1.3? Is that doable? Okay, so now we've got 10% increase in repair order and 20% in visits. We only need 8% improvement in our retention rate. And since most shops' retention rate is really is not really as good as they'd like to think it is, an 8% increase in retention rate means we've hit the 38%. We didn't change the number of customers, but if we can do that 2 years in a row, we'll double our business. It's math. It's just math. And you can play with it if you want to. I mean, these 4 components are what all of you have in your business. And again, remember the goal is 30, let me move it up here, the 38%, not a 38% increase in the number of customers, a 38% total increase in each in those 4 categories. So however you mix it up, it works. Some shops could increase their average repair order by 20% with a quality inspection process, and that means they have to pick up 18% in the other 3 categories. It's like falling off a log. Right? Leon says, I'm used this now. I can see the wheels turning there. You shouldn't be on camera, Leon, because actually, Leon, I'd love to play poker with you.
Well, I'm just trying to decide how to share my chat.
Yeah. So now, but hold it. Before we decide to double our sales in 2 years, why? Why do you want to double your sales? That's really the question that has to be asked first, isn't it? Why would you want to do that? Now, there are legitimate reasons. I just want to make sure we're changing for the right reasons, not just because I want to sell more. So again, just some different ways of thinking. So that's my challenge or my question for you is, what do you want the business to do for you? Let's think about what the business is there for. The business is just a tool to provide for your family, and what do you want it to provide? Now, there are some people who say, well, I like time off. My income's fine. I like time off. So I have a manager and I'm gone for quite a bit of the time. Some people say, well, it's to do this and this and that. Whatever it is fine. Let's just make sure that we have the right reasons. So to review, what do you want the business to do for you, and what do we need to change? And then look at your business as an investment. Would you buy it again? And as an investor, what would you change, or what needs to change with your business for things to make it more attractive? Oops, okay, let me get this.
Might be good, Dan, to just jog the memories that whatever goes into the net is the real fish, right? The net is for fish. And if we can just increase the net, that will get us on the right track.
Yes, well, so giving credit to Bob O'Connor, let's work smarter, not work harder. And that's really, my thing is what's the low-hanging fruit? But again, why? We're changing for a reason. Why are we changing? Not just to be changing.
To kind of run through the report on it, and just a bit talking
so
questions if you want to.
I'm not sure. This American Heart Association study, and I hit the button too fast. 11% change. The American Heart Association did a big study. The doctor said, you need to change or you're going to die. And what percentage of people, and what they were talking about was lifestyle changes based on heart problems. You need to change what you eat. You need to quit smoking. Different things that you need to change, or you're going to die much sooner than you should, or that you will otherwise. And only 11% of the people changed. Now, when I first heard that, I thought, oh, that's got to be wrong, because, I mean, if somebody said, you know, cut out sugar or you're going to die. Well, I know I'm going to die eventually, but it's like you're going to die really soon. I think that I would probably make a change. But only 11% of the people who doctors told them make this change actually changed. Now, granted, again, you guys in the automotive industry and gals in the automotive industry are not like normal people, so we'd probably have a higher statistic. But again, are you willing to change? What are you willing to change, and why do you want to change? Are you looking for, you know, different ways to change? And again, without change, there's no growth. So the reason, and then the change. So what I would really like to challenge you on is what are you putting in your brain? And I mentioned earlier the people you associate with. A Harvard study found that the people that you hang out with is one of the most important things that affects your income. And if you hang out with people that make more money than you, then typically your income will go up. If you hang out with people who make less money than you, their income might come up a little bit, but typically your income will go down, which is kind of scary. So that's, what are you feeding your brain? What are you putting in there? Are you reading? Now, I get this, I say this to shop owners, what are you reading? And I get, well, I don't like to read. Well, that's what this audio book thing is, really this new technology, audio books. Okay, because we're not making excuses here. What are you feeding your brain? What are you reading? I just, in fact, if you want a fun book, I just read a book and it's called How to Fly a Horse. And for, again, those of you that have some mechanical inklings, or you'll enjoy it. Jennifer says, who in the world wants to fly a horse?
Actually,
is
I wouldn't mind. Pegasus,
Okay.
right?
Pegasus,
was
okay.
cool.
Well, it's actually referring to the Wright brothers, and because in reality, it's getting off the ground was not the issue. Was what are you going to do once you get, how are you going to control it? But what books are you reading? What are you listening to? And probably the most important thing, what do you say to yourself? So controlling your self-talk, what are you feeding your brain? I just encourage you, be very proactive about what you're feeding your brain. What are you willing to do or to give up to move forward? A few years back, I was challenged. What do you need to stop doing so that your business will grow? So, and again, as a business owner, you're probably doing something that maybe you enjoy doing it, but is it holding your business back? So again, looking at your business from an investor point of view, would you be the person that they hired to do that job? What are you willing to do? What are you ready to do? What are you willing to let go of to make your business grow? So entrepreneurs typically have some control issues. Is it possible that maybe we need to let go of some things and let some other people do what they're supposed to do so that we can, so our business can grow? Stop doing what? Three factors that affect your income: what you read, who you associate with, and what you say. This is not anything that Dan wrote. This is just research that Dan did. These are studies, and you'll find it, again, what you read, who you associate with, what you say is going to affect your income more than anything else. So be very careful about what you're putting in your brain. Now, my action plan for you, I've got obviously some RLO action steps, but what I really, really want you to think about or do is to take a step back as an investor, look at your business. Would I buy it again? If not, what would I change? Or if I was going to buy it right now, what are some things I would do as soon as I bought it to make it better? And then reevaluate what you're reading, who you're hanging out with, and what you're saying. From the RLO point of view, training, join a bottom line impact group, and get excited about the success of your business. I believe that we are in the right business at the right time. The automotive repair industry, we have all these things going for us right now. People don't want to get on airplanes. They're going to drive this summer. Gas prices are down. They're going to drive because gas prices are down. They're not buying new cars because some uncertainty. They're going to keep the ones that they've got. All these things are lining up for 2020 to be a very good year for, and 2021 for that matter, to be very good years for the automotive repair industry. We have, as of through 2019, we had 6 straight years where they sold more than 15 million cars a year. And so we're just getting some of those cars into our shops in the last year and this year, coming off a warranty, and we've got 3 more years of those piling in. The average age keeps going up. The number of cars on the road keeps going up. It's a great time to be in the automotive repair business. So get excited about it and make things happen. And that would be what I would challenge you all to do. It is a great time to be in this industry, and a great time to for things to be happening. So I get excited for all of you, and have fun. We just have some fun in this industry. And again, you're with ASA Northwest, which you're hanging around with winners with them, and it's a pleasure to work with ASA Northwest and to meet members. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Dan. Hey, well, there's some people that came on. Actually, we have like 20 some people on, and maybe some of you didn't hear about ATE going virtual, but Dan will be one of our instructors there. And so we're excited about that. So make sure you check out atetrainingexpo.com and take a look at the classes, and we'd love to have you get signed up. So I want to thank Dan again for being here. And Leon, could you tell us what's going to happen next week?
I was asked to have a lunch and learn, and I got to thinking about the SOPs and some of the need for us to have more SOPs than what we have. And I'm speaking to myself especially, because I think I don't have enough of them. So I developed a small little chart and check sheet so that we can develop our own SOPs. And I shared it with Brenda. I don't know if it's trash or not, but anyway, she's got it. And I would just give a little bit of a lunch and learn on if only. And that if only is about, if only I had a system that would eliminate this. And you can fill in the blank. If only I had the answer to this dilemma, something that maybe is. So that's what I'm going to go over.
Great. Okay, well, thank you very much. And Jennifer had a question for Dan. What does he recommend shops do if shelter in place takes effect again?
So I'm sorry, what was
The question is, what does Dan recommend shops do if shelter in place takes effect again?
Well, since repair shops are essential business, the shelter in place doesn't really apply to as far as closing the shop. The main thing to do is what we did the last time, is get the message out to everybody that we're open, and that we have the procedures and processes in place to keep everybody safe. So it's the messaging, social media, whatever marketing tools you use to get the word out that that you're open and that you're following all the guidelines.
Great. Thanks, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you everyone for being on today, and we look forward to seeing you next Thursday when Leon will be our speaker. So thanks everybody, and have a great day.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much, Dan.
Dan. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.